In this video, Nez Nation, I'm going to give you 4 powerful tips on how you can make the strongest first impression when you go into that job interview and actually really with anybody new that you meet, network, or connect with. But first, before we get into all of that, if you are interested in being inspired, motivated, and educated for free on YouTube with powerful videos every single week that I release on how to discover who you truly are and how to share that with the world, you need to click the subscribe button down below immediately, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so every time that I produce these videos, which is every single week, you get a notification. Okay, the first tip on how you can make an amazing first impression is to polish up your LinkedIn profile. Guys, Microsoft bought LinkedIn for $26 billion. That's the most expensive acquisition in acquisition history. Do you think these guys are stupid? Do you think Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, just had $26 billion to spare? Not even close. Guys, this is the #1 networking professional website for people to connect in the job place and marketplace. This is not Facebook. LinkedIn is the premier, professional website. And I can't tell you how many leads. As a LinkedIn Profiler consultant and somebody who's an ambassador, has a top percentile LinkedIn profile. Go check out my LinkedIn profile, by the way. You have to understand how important it is to polish up your LinkedIn profile. Think of your LinkedIn profile as your virtual business card. Think of it as your virtual CV or resume. Don't forget also, if you don't know this, it's the very first thing that shows up on Google search, which is the #1 search engine in the world, just in case you didn't know. So definitely polish up your LinkedIn profile. If you need help with that, you can go check out my LinkedIn profile and see how I've optimized my LinkedIn profile. Just go to Professor Nez on LinkedIn. Connect with me too. I would love to connect with you. And if you want to really take that a step further, you can always hire me as a consultant. We can talk about that at another time. The second thing that you need to do to make an amazing first impression in a job interview or really anywhere else is to really prep. Asking critical thinking, stimulating, provocative questions in the interview, because the interview is two ways. It's a two-way street, okay? They're going to be really trying to find out as much information they can about you, and they're going to ask you a lot of questions. But don't just sit there and just receive. You want to also be proactive. So really doing your research, which is really easy in today's age. You can go to any one of these companies' websites, check out their LinkedIn profile, find out as much information as you can, do the work, Nez Nation, find out all the research and all the info you can, the background, the history, what the company's mission statement is, how they operate, what is their company culture like. Find out everything you can so you can be well equipped when you go into that interview and you can ask stimulating, provocative, thought-provoking questions. Nearly 41% of hiring managers have said that when they were asked and stimulated by a candidate with well-informed questions, thought-provoking questions that really understood the company and the engagement and effort was there, the chances of them being hired rose to a whole nother tier. So that's really, really important. Do your question prep. Number 3, try to break the ice. And this is how you can do this in a very effective way, Nez Nation. You got to understand one thing before I get into this tip. You're nervous when you go into an interview. You're nervous when you connect and network with new people. You're nervous. It's okay to be nervous, It's a very normal, natural thing. If you weren't nervous, there'd be something wrong with you, okay? I think it's a good thing to be nervous, and that's not something that I want you to worry about. Here's something that maybe you don't know. Maybe you already know this. The people who are hiring you are nervous as well. It's not as if these guys are just going in there and looking to bludgeon you and looking to make you feel uncomfortable and anxietal. They're actually feeling nervous too. They understand the process. They know it's difficult. They know you want to put your best foot forward. And they also want to be engaging, and they also want to be fair. And these are intelligent people at these big companies that you're trying to go hire and be hired at. And trust me, they're nervous too. So a good way to break the ice is to just be natural. try to establish common ground in the interview. This kind of is connected to step 2, to the tip number 2, about question prepping. Do your research on these companies. Do your research on these individuals. Find out what alma mater they went to. Find out what university. Find out any kind of personal information and try to use that in the interview. Be natural. Try to break the ice. Be conversational. And just be a human being, really. Just be engaging. Don't be stiff. Be yourself, okay? These companies understand that you're going to be nervous. It's okay. But if you overthink that and you allow your mind to really run away with everything that could be going wrong, your inner critic is your worst critic. That's going to really hurt your chances for being hired, and it's going to make everybody feel uncomfortable. A good way to set the tone for the entire interview and making that first impression is to really break the ice, and you can do that so easily by finding a fact, detail, or some characteristic about that individual or company that you can relate to on a personal, more emotional level, and then try to bring that up in the conversation and try to just mention that very subtly, and that's going to be a great way for you to break the ice, and it's going to set the tone and really relax everybody, including yourself. The last thing, tip number 4 on how you can make an amazing impression in an interview or anywhere else: don't show up late. The great John Wooden, who was the UCLA coach who won 11 championships in a row with Lou Alcindor, who's also known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. This is one of his principles and one of his precepts that he really felt was number 1 priority in his list of management, leadership, and recruiting team members and future basketball players. Punctuality was really huge with him, and nothing sends the wrong impression more than being late, okay? Just get there early, even if it's an hour early. I've done this before early in my career. I've gotten there sometimes 2 hours early. Bring a book, okay? Bring some music, bring something to occupy your time, bring some reading material, whatever it is. Get there as early as possible. There's nothing worse than being late. It sends the wrong message, especially when they haven't met you yet. It can set the wrong tone. And you don't want that. That could really be a deal breaker right there, just showing up late. So just to review, number 1, polish your online presence. Make sure that your LinkedIn profile is completely revamped, revised, strong, and communicates your story well. Number 2, make sure that you do your question prep. Make sure that you understand a little bit more about the company. This is an easy thing to do in this day and age. You can find out pretty much everything you can about a company, organization, entity, or individual through the internet. You just got to put in the work. And number 3, try to break the ice. Try to find some mutual connections and emotional levels, something personal, whether it's a favorite team, an alma mater, a pastime, a hobby, something that you can kind of connect with and kind of subtly introduce that into the conversation. For example, you could do something like this. Oh, I noticed that you're a big Michigan fan. I'm from Michigan. I love Michigan. Go Big Blue. Something like that. Just really subtly, not forced. Just really subtly, like, hey, I noticed that you actually like Hemingway. I love Hemingway. I noticed the book on your desk. You have Pat Riley's autobiography. I'm a huge Laker fan. Something like that. Just bring it up very subtly. Bring it up naturally. Don't force it. That's a great way to break the ice and set the tone. And then last but not least, I think this is actually the most important. Do not be late. Nothing sends a more derogatory message and a negative impression more than being late. So make sure that you're on time. I would get there as early as possible. Even if it's an hour, doesn't matter. Just get there early. As a matter of fact, before I end this video, one thing I want to mention is I've actually shown up early to interviews before, early in my career, 15, 20 minutes, and I've went ahead and let the office assistant or office manager know I was there. And actually that made me look really good, that not only was I punctual, but I was there early, ready to go. And it actually, in some instances, I saved the recruiter's time. I actually gave them time back. And if you can do that, that sets a great impression. I hope this was a valuable video. I hope you guys got something out of this. Go make that amazing first impression. You can apply these tactics today. And please don't forget, if you got value out of this, share this out. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Hit that round icon. Hit my face. It's a little round icon down there in the card. And subscribe, because we put out new videos every single week on storytelling, on mindsets, career advice, live streams. We do it all on this channel, Professor Nez. For you guys, Nez Nation. For you guys. I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next time. Thank you.